Just a friendly reminder to incoming freshmen, skipping class now isn't worth the stress of trying to catch up later. Response 1.
Also, if the required classes for your major are making you cry, causing you more stress than it's worth, and the thought of going to class makes you sick, it's time to rethink your major.
I'm 7 years in, no going back now.
7. What are you studying? Medicine?
A lot of people go to school for 7 years, yeah, they're called doctors.
Response 2.
Am I the only loser who has never skipped a class in college? This shit is expensive. And I am sure to pick cool classes.
Agreed. Truly cannot fathom why some students just completely skip and check out, not including those struggling with health issues. College is so fucking expensive, you should make the most of it. Edit. Okay, some of you are taking this quite literally and I didn't mean it that way. What I meant is not coming to any of your classes or tests, just completely failing the course. Not skipping classes to learn from the book yourself, or taking a mental health day. What I meant is when students utterly stop trying.
Quote, truly cannot fathom why some students just completely skip and check out. I have homework for more important classes. I have to study for more important classes. It's an early class, I'm tired, and attendance isn't mandatory. I don't get much if anything out of going to the class and class isn't mandatory. Etc. etc. I don't particularly care about class 1, don't learn well from lectures. I care about the letters on my expensive piece of paper, because that's what employers care about. I have no problem skipping class if I'm still getting good enough grades.
You raise some good points. If you skip class in a calculated manner, that's totally different. What I was talking about was just skipping to skip. Good call.
Response 3.
Deleted. I have met or read from a shocking amount of people who say things like, yeah, I missed half the lectures and never went to the discussion sections and got like a 32 and 37 on the exam. WTF is going on? Like, they are honestly surprised that this happened to them.
I'm not surprised because I used to be one of them. Sometimes these kids have to make these mistakes and fail before they learn. I certainly did.
To be fair, maybe they did this with other classes and got away with it. I had GE classes and low-level core classes I skipped all the time and still did fine. I was smart enough to realize that wouldn't apply to all classes, but some people might not think that far ahead.
Response 4.
But also a PSA, mental health is a thing that can fuck you up. Being bored by random class, or feeling overwhelmed with 4 tests in 1 week is normal. Needing to take just 1 day out to reset is okay. But if your sleeping and eating are highly disturbed, you find yourself crying a lot, you just can't leave the house, you're slow and lethargic even on 15 hours of sleep, there are substance abuse problems, you have difficulty keeping up personal hygiene, you've lost motivation for things you used to love, and or you're having thoughts of suicide and self-harm, you need to get help from someone. It may mean getting a medical withdrawal, or taking some approved time away from class. But it's important you get help, because unless your class has an attendance policy and a professor who gives a damn, it's entirely too easy to fall through the cracks. I was a straight A+ student who started missing classes, dropped 20 kilograms, slept for far too long or not at all, and was clearly disheveled when I did show up. People saw something was wrong, they asked me how I was going, but when I said, I feel like absolute shit, no one did anything. People simply don't know how to act, or don't want to presume, so they'll watch you crash and burn. You need to take the first step to treatment yourself.
Fuck, this is me. I started out college really strong, got good grades, rarely missed classes, involved in clubs, etc. Now, I have no motivation, I can barely pay attention in class. To be fair, I have been diagnosed with ADHD and am in the process of getting new meds, so that might have something to do with it. Constantly feeling down about myself, constantly feel stressed, never can keep up in class, eat way too much, etc. The motivation is completely gone and I feel hopeless sometimes. Maybe I should get some help.
Definitely go and talk to a doctor or therapist. Your university should have counseling services and you can just go to talk things over with them. At the very least, it can help you to center yourself or put things into perspective if you talk it over with someone. And it's a good idea to let your professors know that you're dealing with some personal stuff at the moment too, before you need to. It helps them to put your performance in perspective. If you're really struggling to get by, then attending classes and handing in all of your work on time is actually a really big achievement and shows an insane amount of effort and dedication.
Response 5.
This honestly should go deeper. If you're an incoming freshman that is only going to college because your mommy and daddy told you, you don't need to be going. Instead of putting yourself in debt for the sake of having the college experience, go out into the workforce, job shadow, join the military, or do anything else that's going to better yourself financially and mentally. College is a great tool for people that take it seriously, but it's not the only stepping stone in life that leads to success and fulfillment.
Your comment may sound a bit mean, but I agree with it. I've encountered other freshmen who are studying something their parents want them to that they have no interest in, they'll be miserable, and those who, since their parents have money, they spend more time partying in frat sorority than in class and end up failing class because they never showed up or showed up to class drunk. You can go to college and have fun, but having fun should not be a priority.
Response 6.
I think a lot of this boils down to immaturity. Think about it, the average college freshman probably doesn't work and is for the first time getting a taste of freedom from school. All their lives, since kindergarten, they've been at school from 7-8 a.m. to 2-3 p.m. Seeing that they have the option not to take that 8 a.m. algebra class and instead start their day at 10:45 a.m. looks good. Oh snap. Attendance isn't mandatory. This newly found freedom backfires a lot more often because of this. I've seen it happen my first 2 years, and these were common scenarios. On the flip side, then there's kids like me. I didn't really have it easy growing up and had to work at 16. So going to college and seeing advisors, professors tout unpaid internships or clubs makes these types of students' eyes roll. They have to work. I had to work to make ends meet and help out my family. Sadly, some required classes are only offered MF at 2:15, 4:30. Bosses say they'll try to give you those days off. Oh, but someone called out, you need those extra hours. Fuck Professor Sanchez and that 2 p.m. course. And sadly it begins a weird and too often cycle. Skipping out of necessity. I've also seen this happen. It happens a lot with students who come from a working class background.
Response 7.
I second this, skipped 18 out of 36 lectures for General Chemistry 2 that was recorded online. Ended up failing the course, having to repeat it in summer school and realizing that skipping lectures was the reason. Definitely do not recommend at all ever. Especially with lectures that are recorded online, the temptation is even higher to fall behind.
Response 8.
Take care of your mental health before it fucks your GPA.
Response 9.
Yes, and failing that easy freshman level intro class is going to be embarrassing later on. I advised someone in that situation today. Flushed face.
Response 10.
I agree, to a point, but occasionally, in undergrad, there were just days when I had no desire to go to class at all, and knew that I would be better served by sleeping in, or going to the gym, or something during that time. Under no circumstances should missing class be a habit, but missing, say, one meeting, or maybe two, in a semester isn't really bad. At my uni, at least, the standard policy for a class which met twice weekly allows for 3 unexcused absences.
Response 11.
I have never missed a class without cause before, i.e. being sick, but I will say, some things are worth skipping for, like I wish I'd skipped class to spend time with my family.